All right, we are back in Chicago. Jim Grieshaber, UFC bantamweight Frankie signs the EAFL Season 3 National Championships presented by Neuroforce One, El Nacimiento, handcrafted tequila. And Frankie, a great start for Illinois, but a good fight coming up in Braden Olivas from Arizona and Alex Rego for Illinois. Let's have the fighters walk and send it up to Raj.
Introducing first, fighting out of the Neuroforce One red corner, with the Illinois Inferno, the Puerto Rican Demon, Alex Rego!
Making his way to the cage in front of the home fans tonight, Alex Rego, 3-0. The Puerto Rican Demon. 5 feet 9 inches tall, 126 pounds. He weighed in officially just 22 years of age, Frankie. 3-1 with a TKO and a submission victory representing MTC Midwest Training Center. 4-year wrestler at Willowbrook High School in Villa Park, Illinois. Lives in Chicago now. Started training MMA a couple of years ago. Wanted to keep competing after his wrestling career came to a close. His cousin Michael Miranda is a professional MMA fighter, lives in Miami. He's moved around the country to chase his dream. Inspired Alex to do the same. He said, everything I do, I'm gonna do it to the fullest. I do everything to be the best, otherwise there's no point in doing it, end quote from Alex Rego.
And what I love about where he trains with that MTC with a couple other fighters on this card, is it's almost like a brotherhood. You know, it's almost like a wrestling brotherhood where, you know, guys support each other. You train together, you sweat together, you bleed together, you know, and then you're over here, we fight together. So right now, I think he's got all the right guys around him, all the right coaches around him to really do big things in the sport of MMA.
Well, he's undefeated so far. He's got a tough test tonight against Braden Olivas of Team Arizona. Talk more about Brandon in a minute. 3 more AMI fights is what Alex wants before turning pro. Interesting, I was doing my pre-fight interview, part of it today with Brandon Olivas cage side, while Alex Rego was working out and testing out the cage.
His opponent, in the misprint blue corner, with the Arizona Apollos, Braden Olivas!
Braden Olivas will make his way to the cage, 22 years of age at 5 feet 7 inches tall. Weighed in at 126 pounds for this fight. Brandon's been training since he was 14 years old. Went to Colorado on vacation, grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Started training in Colorado on vacation, came back home and started doing jiu-jitsu full time. He was one of the top jiu-jitsu practitioners in America at his belt level. Was world #1 at blue belt in jiu-jitsu in 2015, won the Pan Ams and the Nationals 2 times, finished 3rd in the worlds at purple belt. Extremely decorated jiu-jitsu fighter, was on his way to the top in that sport, just stopped it and transitioned right into MMA. He's been working with Santino DeFranco, his head coach, for about 4 years now, and he's starting to put it all together. Really good fighter, good young fighter is Braden Olivas. This is one between Rego and Olivas that when we were looking at this fight card and looking at this championship, this is one of the fights that popped out right away to us.
Yeah, and you know, I think with just MMA, you got to have that base. You got to put that time in something. So you got to have that base when you come in. And I've had the opportunity to roll with Brandon before, and he's extremely high level. You know, as far as being on the ground, taking your back, throwing up submissions. I mean, he's real next level as far as the ground game goes.
Braden Olivas of Team Arizona, Alex Rego of Team Illinois. 125-pound National Championship Season 3 Elite Amateur Fight League right here in Chicago. Let's go to the cage for the official introductions with Raj.
Following contest is for the EAFL National Flyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the Neuroforce One red corner. His record is a perfect 3-0. He is 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighing in at 126.2 pounds. From Chicago, Illinois, representing Midwest Training Center, the Illinois Inferno present the Puerto Rican Demon, He comes in with a 5-3 record. 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing in at 126 pounds. From Phoenix, Arizona, representing Siege MMA, with the Arizona Apollos, Braden Olivas!
Olivas and Rego. Olivas coming right at you out of the blue corner and Rego out of the red. Olivas kind of waiting back and letting him come forward. One thing to watch with Braden Olivas is leg kicks. He likes to try to keep that distance with those leg kicks. Not able to do it early on here. But as you mentioned, Frankie, elite jiu-jitsu practitioner is Braden Olivas, and a great wrestler is Alex, the Puerto Rican Demon Rego. So Olivas and Rego, an outstanding matchup here at flyweight. Season 3 of the Elite Amateur Fight League National Championship in Chicago, University of Illinois, Chicago. Right here in the second city, the first weekend of summer. The fans excited. Illinois at home after wins against Indiana and Virginia, taking on Arizona, who beat the back-to-back defending champions in Southern California and New Mexico to get here. Olivas taking that defensive posture to start this fight, letting the fight come to him from Rego. And that knee to the inside of the thigh. Looked like it might have hurt Olivas a little bit. Now reversing that position and landing a knee up against the cage into that midsection of Rego, who reverses it right back.
Yeah, and the pressure by Rego right off the bat. You know, he's looking for that. He's got that wrestler pressure. He's looking to go forward. He's looking to put you up against the fence and get that takedown. The thing he doesn't know about Brandon is Brandon likes when guys shoot takedowns on him. You know, he loves
that head kick.
Yeah, he loves that head and arm, and he loves to try to take your back.
Nice elbow on the inside and a couple punches thrown by Olivas. Looking to get that leg right there. Strong grip, as you said.
Nice single leg finish. Looking to get that double leg. Ooh, and pulls it right out.
Now Braden Olivas right where he wants to be and where he is most dangerous inside of an MMA cage.
And he's doing the right thing where he has Rego. You see how he's up top of him? You got to get that high ground. Ooh, right to his back.
Oh, and he left that neck wide open for Olivas, who reaches underneath. Looking for that rear naked choke. He's got it almost all the way locked in. Almost all the way locked in for Olivas. Fighting it off is Rego. But Olivas, with that level of jiu-jitsu, when he gets you in this position, it's not a good sign at all for Rego. Fighting hard to stay alive here in round number 1.
Well, Brandon does hard with this position. He'll crank on your chin. He'll crank on your face to where you'll want to almost give up the choke because it hurts so bad on that face.
A nice right by Olivas in the leg kick. Olivas knowing when to release that choke too, though. Knowing he didn't maybe completely have it, getting back up on the feet, landed a nice right hand. Tough kid's got a pretty good chin. 125ers don't typically have a ton of power anyway, very few. Those knees, though, looking good from Rego, doing a little damage to the inside of the right thigh of Olivas as we head to the end of round number 1 between Braden Olivas and Alex Rego. Braden Olivas had the takedown in round number 1 and a submission attempt. Say it was pretty close or not, but at no point did it look like Rego was going to tap. Pretty good round and a pretty good start for Olivas.
Yeah, you know, Rego's looking to get that pressure, put you on the fence, try to get that takedown, going to beat you up with a little bit of dirty, I guess it would be dirty boxing, but he's kneeing him in the thighs, getting up against that clinch, put him up against the cage, soften him up a little bit. Think about Brandon, though, he's a gamer. He likes to get in these little funk positions, and he'll out-scramble you. He'll take your back. You grab that leg or you grab a double leg, he's looking to take that back with that head and arm, and I've seen him do it multiple times against high-level jiu-jitsu and wrestlers.
What do you say for Rego heading into round number 2?
He just got to find himself. He's just kind of rushing in, trying to get that pressure, get that over-under position. He needs to try to soften him up with some strikes, find a way in, try to a better way to set up that takedown. Because right now he's putting Brandon up against the fence, but Brandon's getting both underhooks, and there's really no chance for him to get that takedown there.
Round number 2, Arizona's Braden Olivas and Illinois' Alex, the Puerto Rican Demon, Rego, coming forward right away. In the red is Rego. And Rego coming in, looking to punch his way perhaps into a takedown, big-time wrestler. Braden Olivas, an elite jiu-jitsu practitioner and fighter, has been, and it's worth repeating, #1 in the world at blue belt in 2015, and a nice kick lands there for Olivas.
And right before that, he landed that 1-2. You know, you just got to find that numbers and punches. You know, he was throwing that right hand, just kind of slanging it earlier. Now he's starting to follow. Now he's starting to find that range a little bit. Follow it in with that jab.
The right hand is pretty low, very low for Rego. Standing in a southpaw stance, walked right into the takedown. Brilliant job by Olivas. He had the arm hanging low, was leaving himself open for a hook on the outside. And then Olivas feinted like he was coming high and went right down in to take him down. That was beautiful.
Well, that's the setup, you know. Two times he came in, Olivas landed that right hand. Next time he's thinking that right hand's coming, you drop right in for that takedown. Good control on top by Braden, just controlling the wrist. You know, right now, here's the bad position. You know, pin him up against the fence. His head's up against the fence. You can't really move anywhere from here. He's got to try to get out the fence and try to create a little bit of space on the bottom, Rego does. But Brandon's doing a good job of just holding him right here. You know, just with good position. He's uncomfortable. His neck just up. Submission attempt by Rego.
Not going to happen against a guy like Brandon on that level. But now Brandon continuing to work in top position, looking to posture up and throw some punches down on him. His corner telling him to push off and get up.
He's right here in the full guard. You see what Brandon's doing? He's pressuring with that head. His head's always going forward. He's always pushing into him, trying to get that pressure, and he's very aware of the submissions that could possibly get thrown up right here.
Any chance that he can, he's leaning on him with that elbow straight down.
There we go, and just more pressure. You know, this is Santino DeFranco. He's going to get you up against the fence, and you're going to do all the right things right here. You know, you're going to find wrist control. You know, you're going to find that pressure, keeping him there, and really just wearing your guy out. Right now, he's just smothering his face and just making it miserable for Rego.
A couple good shots landed by Olivas with the right hand there. You're not going to find many grappling coaches better than Santino DeFranco for sure. There's a guy who, part of Henry Cejudo's coaching team, and he's the guy in his ear in the corner. Henry against Marlon Moraes. You remember after round #1, the guy who set him straight, Santino DeFranco, they call him the Henry Whisperer, but he coaches at Fight Ready and Siege MMA in Arizona. He's your coach. He coaches a lot of very high-level athletes, but loves working with the younger guys, and he's been working with Braden Olivas almost exclusively with Brandon since Brandon started. It's been 4 years they've been working together, and it's been a pretty good run. Olivas just keeps getting better. That was a great round for him, Frankie. Really outstanding round for Braden Olivas and Arizona.
Well, that was a dominant performance. You know, when Brandon takes you down, for the most part, he's going to keep you on the ground. You know, he's going to beat you up. He's going to put you up against the fence, get that high ground, as we call it, where you make the guys carry your weight. You know, you don't sit back where guys can just sit up and put their hands on the mat and get to their feet. Right here, you got to, you know, drive with that head control. You've seen it right there, Jim. You know, we talk about in wrestling, how you get that head control when you're wrestling on your feet. Right here, you get it on top. He was smashing Rego's head up against the fence. And there was really nowhere for Rego to go. I mean, Rego just basically waited out that 3 minutes to get a fresh start back to his feet.
It's funny when you're around Braden Olivas, and I say that on purpose. It is funny when you're around Braden Olivas. He's a joker. He says a lot of things to keep people loose. He says sometimes he has to be careful around teammates because he's too loose and everybody's super focused and he just wants to goof off. But when he's in that cage, man, he is all business, and he's in a good spot heading into round #3 right now against Alex Rego, the Puerto Rican Demon for Team Illinois in the red. Olivas in the black, trimmed in gold and orange like the Arizona Sunshine that he represents here tonight for the Apollos. 3 to 6 points on the line for these guys tonight. You get 3 for a split decision, 4 for unanimous, and 6 for any type of finish, whether it be knockout, TKO, any kind of submission, as Braden Olivas shooting in for a double leg. And that's exactly what he wanted there. That gets the job done. He just wants to establish positional control here.
Yeah, it's just getting guys on their heels or getting guys that think you're going to strike, dropping down for that double leg, easy double leg finish, right into the wrist control. You see what he's doing right there? He's trying to control that bottom wrist. You know,
with that left hand in the meantime.
If you control that bottom wrist, there's nowhere for you to go but give your back.
That's exactly what Olivas is doing right now. A good jiu-jitsu artist to me, someone who just like starts to coil around you like a snake, and there's not much you can do about it. And now that's exactly the position that Alex Rego finds himself in with Braden Olivas. The outstanding grappling has been the biggest factor in this matchup so far.
Well, it's a nice dominant position right here. One hook in, you got wrist control, you're on top, you're wearing this guy down. And this is your bread and butter. This is where you're comfortable.
Right in his own corner with Santino in his ear.
You know, just transition, just, you know, good control right here. Nice and calm, good head pressure. Let's see if he goes back for that takedown.
Right there with the inside trip. Good job by Braden Olivas of Arizona.
But it all comes from just keeping that wrist control. You notice how he never let go of that wrist?
Never let go.
He never let go of that wrist, so when he came back to his feet, he just kind of sat him right back down on that wrist side. Still has the wrist, still has that far wrist trapped on the other side. You know, there's not much you could do with one hand. You know, I don't care who you are. But the head pressure continues, the high ground continues. And the suffering continues for Rego right now.
Yeah, those are filthy on the inside right there. You're getting a good shot of those from Braden Olivas, who's been really impressive. He was outstanding as well in the national semifinals for Arizona.
When we talk about an MMA, it's so hard to keep a guy on the ground. You know, when you take them down, you see it all the time. Guys get taken down, they get back right to their feet. That's something that Santino works on, is taking a guy down and keeping him down.
It's a great shot of Santino coaching him to do exactly that, as you said it, Frankie, and exactly where Olivas wants to be in the driver's seat. Obviously for him, he wants to get a finish and get those 2 extra points. He's cruising to a unanimous decision as it looks right now with 10 seconds left, and that would be 4 points for Team Arizona if he can't get the finish and get the 6. But Braden Olivas going to carry it to the flag here for Team Arizona. Outstanding performance for the young fighter out of Phoenix, Arizona, and a great job on the road, hostile territory, to just come in here and suck the life not only out of Alex Rego, but out of this building at the same time.
Yeah, it got real quiet in here right now. You know, but that was just a dominant technical performance by Braden Olivas. You know, that's just a clinic. You're putting on a clinic on top. Take somebody down, keep them down, you beat them up, you know, you get back up to your feet, you take them back down. That's the most exhausting thing in MMA, right? You get taken down, you work your butt up to get back to your feet. You're finally on your feet, boom, you get dumped right back down. You know, then you're back in that same place where you started. Great job by Braden Olivas, just, you know, putting the finishing touches on Rego here in this matchup.
Absolute great job by Braden Olivas.
All 3 judges scored 29-28. Your winner by unanimous decision and the new EAFL flyweight champion from Siege MMA and the Arizona Apollos, Braden Olivas!
That dominant performance from Braden Olivas puts Arizona on the board, but Illinois still has the 6-4 lead heading into fight number 3. Has Arizona stolen the momentum, or will Illinois come raging back in front of their home crowd? We'll find out after the break.